Hi, my name is Tammy. I'm the president of Fun and Adventure at Singles Travel International. And today we're having lunch in South Africa. I am on Zoom with a very long time partner, Gordon from Cape Scout in South Africa. Gordon has done probably 5 or 6 programs for us since we met a while back, and we only operate our African safaris with Cape Scout because they never disappoint us. And in fact, a lot of companies say we exceed your expectations, and it's not always true. But in this case, they are over the top, and there's always some surprises. So even though we're going to present this program to you today, you're going to have some amazing surprises when you get there. And of course, we all know when it comes to animals, anything goes. Gordon, welcome.
Hey Tammy, thanks. Thanks. I should let you carry on talking the way you're going. Yeah, thanks. Nice to be here and nice to be doing another singles trip with you guys. I think it may be more than 5 or 6 trip. I think the first one was in 2007, if we go back that far. So yeah, certainly. And Chris, as we'll find out, was I think 2003 was the first trip we did with you guys. So it's yeah, really looking forward to it.
Thanks, Gordon. So it's all yours. We're all ears. We can't wait to see what's unfolding for us when we get to South Africa.
Cool. Well, thanks very much and welcome, guys. Nice to see you all. As Tammy said, I've been in Cape Town. I'm born and bred South African. We've been running a sort of high-end travel business out of Cape Town since 2001, and been lucky to be in a nice partnership with Singles Travel and doing some pretty fun trips over the years. We've got a recipe we think that works. People have a fairly limited amount of time coming out of the States. You don't have 2, 3 weeks like the Europeans do. And we try and maximize the experience that you can have, ticking off the key places and getting as deep as you can into the country, with us taking care of all the things you need to have looked after. So there's very little thinking on your part. You arrive in Cape Town. From the minute you arrive to the minute you back on the plane, there's almost nothing you need to think of apart from a meal or two. So I'm just going to run through the schedule. At the end, there's some time for a Q&A. And so just make some notes if you've got any questions. And here we go. So the trip starts on the 12th of May, which is I think a Friday, and it ends on the Sunday, the 21st of May. And we do two main areas, but 3 stops. So the first stop is in Cape Town, and through the wine country and up on safari. Oh, why isn't this? There we go. So Chris TROMP, my great friend. Tammy's known Chris for nearly 20 years now. Chris is our main tour leader, great tour guide, very experienced. There's very little Chris hasn't done in Southern Africa in terms of tour guiding. And he's also just a great guy. It's a huge amount of fun. There's very little he doesn't know. So Chris will be on the trip from start to finish, taking you as the tour guide through Cape Town and then joining the safari rangers in the bush. So you instead of having a US host come over, you've got a local based guy who really knows what he's doing in country, looking after every minute of your experience. We start the trip in Cape Town. Cape Town access has got a lot better from the US over the years. There's some Delta flights that have started out of Atlanta. There's some flights out of Newark that come straight into Cape Town now, which had never happened before. And then there's flights through all the European hubs, Emirates, Qatar, all of those. So there's good options coming into Cape Town. We gather you up, and we sort of have a nice first evening introduction where we have a welcome cocktails and a nice meal before the touring starts. Quite a few people come in a few days early. We can book extra hotels and experiences for anyone who wants to, and sort of give yourself enough time to get on the time zone and all the rest. So if you've got a couple of extra days, it's a really good way to start a trip. We base the hotel we use is in the waterfront complex, which is the biggest tourism attraction in South Africa. We have all the shops, all the restaurants, lots of pubs, and very easy access to all the amenities around the city. It's a great base to tour from. It's very safe. You can walk out of your hotel and experience without having to have any sort of guarding or things like that in the evening. You can just wander out into the shops in the waterfront area and pubs, and it's very, very safe. So it's a great place to start. The hotel is a sort of high-end 4-star. You can take singles and twins, and I know Tammy's got some good pricing on single and twin rooms and some specials. So have a think about that. It's pretty good as a singles trip if you want your own room. I know there's some good offers on there. What we do in Cape Town is the 4 nights gives us 2.5, 3 days, and depending on the weather, we'll plan to tick off all the main sites. We'll do things like Table Mountain, down into the city, the historic Cape Town. Unfortunately, the old Parliament building burnt down during COVID. There was a horrific fire there, so unfortunately the Parliament precinct isn't on the tour list anymore, but the company gardens is there. And it's a nice easy intro for that day. We head out onto the Atlantic coast, go and catch some sundowners, some cocktails, and those sort of little surprises that Tammy was talking about. Day 2 in Cape Town is generally stretch our legs a little bit further. We head down to Cape Point and the nature reserve down there. Most people think of Cape Town and Table Mountain as the southern tip of Africa facing south. And the city actually faces north. And if you look at the flat table of Table Mountain, you're actually looking south. So it's opposite to what you think. And that whole area behind Table Mountain is a nature reserve that stretches about 40 miles. And this is at the end of it. Cape Point, Boulders Beach, the penguins, lots of baboons, a couple of interesting antelope species. And it's a really fun day. You leave quite early in the morning. We make a lunch stop on the ocean along the way. And we get you back to the hotel about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, have a little bit of a freshen up, and then we back out on the town that evening and having dinner somewhere nice. The last morning in Cape Town, we generally like to give people a bit of time to stretch their legs. So Robben Island's a great experience. So if you're looking at this picture of Robben Island and you're looking towards the city, the hotel's right on the front edge of the mountain there on the coastline. And we come out for a morning at Robben Island. We come back to the waterfront, you tour the colony, tour the prison, come back and have a really relaxed afternoon and do your shopping. A lot of people have got some own ideas of what they want to do, and we give you some free time to break away from the group and do your own thing in that time. So that's 4 nights in Cape Town, and not far out of Cape Town, just an hour's drive is the wine country, and there's multiple little towns that sit in these valleys with some of the oldest New World wines. So New World 1686, if you consider 1686 New World. Stellenbosch is very famous for its reds, and we spent 2 nights in Stellenbosch exploring the wine country. Lots of art galleries, lots of really interesting food options. Chris will take you to some great wine farms and do a couple of tastings, a really nice lunch, and a really nice way to explore the area. Again, very easy logistics, just an hour out of Cape Town, and then on the day we're done there, it's just 45 minutes back to the airport. So really simple logistics in that exercise. The hotel we're using is one of the oldest in the country. It's been beautifully renovated. It's really funky. There's different rooms have got different sort of wings of the hotel are older than others, and again, really special little place in the middle of Stellenbosch town, and you can stretch your legs there a little bit as well and go and explore on one of the afternoons that you get there. So that's Cape Town and Stellenbosch, 4 nights and 2 nights, and it just depends. I've got this up, and at the moment there's a bit of construction going on at the Cheetah project, so it's up there. It should be fine, but we do have a fun day out with the Cheetah outreach program, which is not far from Stellenbosch town. There's other cats, there's other rehabilitated animals, and it's a really fun experience. On the wine touring day itself, we go from Stellenbosch over to the Franschhoek Valley, which is the valley next door, and that's called the Franschhoek, means French corner. It's where the French Huguenots escaped to after the Edict of Nantes all that time ago. And there are some really spectacular wine farms there. A couple of the world's billionaires have bought some of them. So you have this old world charm wine farms. You've got the latest, greatest vineyards and cellars You got some of the best restaurants in the country. And again, it's just a great day spent exploring a very special area. After the wine country, we're back to the airport. There's a 10:30 flight in the morning that takes us from Cape Town straight into the Kruger National Park, which is in the north east corner of the country. I've taken that flight. In fact, I'm taking it next week, and it's just fantastic. You get on the plane, 2.5 hours later, you are inside the national park. You land in there. The first animal, I'm going to show you a picture in a minute, what you can expect when you drive out of the airport. Really easy flight. It's on a commercial jet, a smaller jet, sort of a 50-seater Embraer. JOCK Rangers are waiting for us at the airport. And in fact, the airport building's that little thatch roof you can see hanging off the edge there. That's the whole airport. So you come in, luggage is waiting for you. The open 4x4 vehicles are waiting for you, and the JOCK Rangers pick us up at the airport. And it's a 45-minute drive from there south to the lodge. We land at 1 o'clock. We're at the lodge by 2 o'clock having a little bit of lunch. Get into your rooms, freshen up, and by 4 o'clock you're on your first safari drive of the tour. So JOCK lodges, and you'll see many people talking about where should I go on safari, what's the best time of year, what do I need to consider, and all these things. So one of the beauties of South African safari lodges is that although we do have seasons, it's a year-round safari destination. We don't have these massive rains with huge fluctuations in experience where you really can't get to some areas. Some areas in Tanzania, Zambia, Zimbabwe that are closed off in certain months of the year. Kruger Park is very high density. Some of the best game viewing in Africa, especially for animals like giraffe, leopard. Probably the best area for rhinoceros in the world in this particular area of Kruger, and it really is an exceptional experience. Now, lots of safari lodges will talk about being private versus public national park. JOCK is a mixture of both. You have a private concession of about 12,000, 15,000 acres. I've actually written it down there, I should read it. 15,000 acres inside the national park that is only for JOCK vehicles. The beauty though is that the rest of the area around that is fully accessible to us. So if lions walk across the road at a private lodge and walk onto private land again, you can't follow them. At JOCK, you can, if they go from the private concession onto the public national park, you can follow them. And we've had just the most amazing sightings every trip. Now, every single photo you're going to see going from here are my own personal photos from trips I've taken in the last 3 years. So you'll get a really good experience, a really good feeling of the kind of things that you can expect to see. We do a 3-night stay, which gives us a safari on the first day in the afternoon, gives us 2 full days of safari experiences. And what that will be is up at 5 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, out on safari for 3.5 hours. Because animals aren't silly, they don't like the heat of the day. They rest and hide when it gets too hot. And so do we. We come back for breakfast. We back into your air-conditioned suites, and you'll see the pictures of the suites in a minute. You chill out for the day, and back at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we head out, come back at 8 in the evening for dinner. So that's how your safari day works. So when you arrive the day you arrive is a safari drive, and the morning you leave is a safari drive as well, and then 2 full days in the middle. Everything at JOCK is included except laundry and premium drinks. So beers, simple spirits, table wines, reds, whites. You're welcome to order fancier drinks, but the quality of everything is pretty good on the all-inclusive basis. So this is your little cabin. This is one room. You've got an outside bath. You've got your own swimming pool. You've got a beautiful deck that overlooks the Biamiti River, which is one of the famous rivers in I thought I saw an elephant in that picture I hadn't seen before. But you do. We often get elephant and lion and leopard walking straight in front of your deck at the lodge. The lodge has a central area, which is where we have dinners every night and meet. And there's 6 rooms that run down either side, one on the Biamiti River and one on the Mitomeni River. And each and every room has a river view with a deck like this, with its own pool and all the rest. There's the main area with the outdoor dining. And I just want to go back here. There's a pub upstairs. Sorry, up those stairs. There's a beautiful pub that overlooks the river, and down the bottom there's a more formal dining area and meeting point with a main lodge pool, which is a great place to meet, and all the rest. The lodge also has a spa. There's only 1 or 2. I mean, it's very remote. There's only 1 or 2 therapists. So getting a massage, a facial, some basic spa treatments is a great way to waste some time during the day. And this is what you can expect. You know, this little leopard I've seen many times in her life. Just again, a couple of 100 yards away from the lodge, just hanging out, doing her thing. Again, you know, you never know what you're going to. We were driving back, not expecting to see anything. We had sort of seen elephants. We had seen a leopard kill. We come around the corner. Everyone's talking. Everyone thinks the safari's over. You come around the corner and there are 25 lion in the road, and it's just unbelievable. And that's the beauty about safari, is you never ever know what is around the next corner. That was early morning. There's Chris on the back left, actually, trying not to get eaten. If you can see him there. There were 6 big male lions, a big coalition of lions that used to dominate this concession. Unfortunately, the last one died at the beginning of the year, and there's some new young blood that's moved into the area and causing havoc. If any of you have watched the National Geographic programs of the lives of lions, it's a pretty hard existence these boys live. They're either trying to kill something or being killed themselves. And watching those lion dynamics in a concession like JOCK, where things are moving and there's lots of wildlife going back and forth, is a full-blown soap opera. It's really interesting to follow. So that lady you saw in the tree earlier, this is her little cub. This was in the tree. This photo was taken in the tree. We had eaten breakfast under this tree in the morning, and we came back in the evening, and she was sleeping in the tree where we had just had breakfast underneath in the morning. Absolutely spectacular. And that really is that photo is taken at about 6 yards. Sunset, sorry, that was a sunrise actually. 2 young lions flapping about, doing their thing, being naughty. A little procession coming to drink some water in the pool in front of the lodge. Again, you know, you can just be sitting. I was just sitting there having a cup of coffee after breakfast, and you know, there was a whole lot more. Another 30 came down and just drank water in front of the lodge. There's just no guarantee what's going to happen the next day. This gives you a good idea of what we're on. There are our vehicles. There's Chrissy on the right again. The JOCK vehicles are covered, so in some safari areas you'll see there's absolutely no roof or side panels. It's just a law in a national park that you've got to have those side panels up. And the roof's actually fantastic because you don't get beaten by the sun all day and the rain. On the side there are some guides that the guys have been at the lodge forever. The first guide from the left-hand side is Mika, then Ike, who was a trainee waiter, and he's now a full-blown safari guide. It's come right over the last 10 years. Then Lazarus, who's the head ranger, been there 18, 19 years, really experienced guys. And then Maineth, next to the car door. Unfortunately, Maineth has left since COVID. He's moved on to other places. And again, there's Chrissy on the far side there, brushed his hair, polished his teeth and shoes, looking good for the camera. So that's the gang. Sorry, I've blown through it. I've gone really quickly. I hope you guys have been able to follow. If you have any questions, I'm sure Tammy will fill me in. I've missed something. But all in all, it would be wonderful to have you. As I said, we literally meet you at the door of your aircraft on day one. You get walked through immigration, customs, you get delivered to your driver on day one. And from that moment, we walk you back at the end of the trip, back onto the plane. And yeah, you're in good hands, you're in experienced hands. As Tammy says, we take our clients' experience very seriously, and we'd love to have you here. And if you've got any questions, let me have them. It'd be great to be very happy to answer them.
Great. 1 second, Gordon. What I'm going to do before we do the questions is I'm going to show everybody here how to access the, oops, that's not what I wanted to do, guys. Sorry, I was going to just do a share here and show you how to access the trip if you want to take this vacation. And all you have to do is go to our homepage, which is www.singlestravelintl.com, and click on all trips up here, and then click on tours, and then navigate over to South Africa. So I did a quick one here so we don't have to watch me cycle through that. But once you get to our South Africa single safari wine country and Cape Town adventure, all the information about the trip, everything that Gordon was talking about is right here on the page. And you are able to use this navigation bar on the left-hand side to see what's included, what does the itinerary have on it, frequently asked questions. And then we have two features here on our site, which help make traveling with other singles so much more delightful. We have a trip chat. So if you're on the vacation, you have access to a private section that nobody else is able to see or join unless they've booked the trip. So you're able to discuss the terms and your plans in confidence and in confidentiality. And then there's a who's going section. So you're always able, by logging into the site, to see who's already signed up for the vacation. And as I said earlier in our meeting today, a lot of our members come by themselves and they don't know anybody, but they soon make friends. And then they might even make a vacation decision based on who's going on the trip because they met them in the past and they had such a great time. So there's a lot of information here on the page, and there is a price my trip, which I will click on right now so that you're able to see how to really book when you're ready. And we have two options for you on all of our vacations. You are able to share and take a space with another traveler, and we guarantee a roommate as long as you sign up before final payment. And that's usually about 120 days before departure. So as long as you do that on time, we guarantee the roommate. However, we launched an amazing membership level right before COVID, and it worked through COVID. And it is probably the most exciting thing that happened to us in the pandemic, but it's called our premium membership. It's only $397 a year, and the savings are always more than the cost of the membership. What happens typically is when somebody comes to us for the first time, they try out the annual membership, and then they upgrade to lifetime, which is $697. So we'll let you upgrade to that after the first year if that's what you want to do. But we understand sometimes you want to just check it out. But if you're ready to go for lifetime, then that's $697. You pay once and then you never pay again. And one of the things, I mean, really the most, I think, painful thing about traveling single is sometimes your friends can't go, and then you end up having to pay a lot more for your own space. So that's what the premium membership solves. We negotiate the extra special prices with the tour companies and the cruise lines. And sometimes we have a great abundance of that space, and sometimes it's limited. So when you're a premium member, you get a 24-hour advance notice when we have a new program so that you can get in and get your deal before we open it up to the rest of our community, which is 25,000. So in this case for South Africa, if you take the share price, that's the very first one. We always list our shares first, and then we go into the premium offer, and then we go to the regular price if you're not a premium offer. So this is a good example. If you're a premium member, you save $720, the membership is $397. So you're still getting a savings. And if you book more than one trip in the year, you automatically get the savings on your next trip. So that's how that works. We're only going to take 16 people on this trip. And so before I sign off, I'm going to tell you that we're going to send everybody an email after today's presentation, and we're going to lock in these prices today until the end of the day on Sunday, and then they're going to go up. We're watching the fluctuation of the currency, and we're going to have to do a price increase after Sunday. So I want to make sure that whoever's here today gets a chance, get in there, get the deal before it expires. And I will send an email again after the presentation so that whoever didn't make it would get a chance to get in on that until we sell out. The last one sold out in 2 weeks. So I know that the trip will be amazing. You're going to meet some incredible new people, make some new friends, people who love animals, people who've had safari on their bucket list forever. And you're just going to make a really great connection with these people in South Africa. So for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, thanks for joining. And if you want to get on this amazing vacation, be sure to click the link below and we'll see you in South Africa.
Hey, Tammy, quick question for you.